Hi, I am Sandeep Ranjan, and in this CLO tutorial video, today we are going to learn about how to edit pattern tools, how to edit pattern with the tools which are available. So for that, first of all, we'll go to library, we'll click on avatar, double click on female, then my avatar is here available. I have to add it to the workspace. Okay, so now avatar is here, so now we can hide it. And then first of all, let's align this particular pattern section and create certain rectangle. So we'll click on the rectangle and just will click over here, then one pop-up will be available. We'll unite it and then we'll change the dimension. It will change the dimension in the same order, and if it is ununite, then you can give your specific width and height. And I will go with the 8 number of shapes. So now my rectangle is here available, so we have to align it. So to align the rectangle, alright, so now my almost pattern section is aligned. So first of all, let's see the uses of transform pattern tool. We'll select this particular rectangle, then you can see these points which is available in the gray color. So once we will double click on the center point, then it will turn the color into red. So now if you are changing the shape, it will change from both the side in the same proportion. And once you click on rectangle, then it will be of the gray color, so you can change the direction, you can change the size one by one of one particular. And if you select this particular corner point, you can just increase it, decrease it, scale it, basically scale the pattern in the same proportion. Okay, so this is the uses of your transform pattern tool. So now let's say how to rotate it. So as you will come to this particular top corner point, then you can rotate it manually, or apart from this, if you want to rotate it, then you can just do right click and we have certain option here, rotate. So rotate with the x-axis, so it will show you the axis point once you select any side. So as you will click on that, it will align it accordingly. Now let's say suppose if we go back to here, rotate in the y-axis, then as again you will see the portion, it is already like in that manner. So let's rotate it once, and then after that let's see what is the outcome coming after selecting the y-axis. So now if any side I am selecting and clicking, it will align it according to the y-axis. Now let's say suppose if right now my pattern is rotated in another direction, and once we do right click and we just go to the rotate and select parallel to, and parallel to which particular direction. So let's say suppose I am selecting this particular line segment of another pattern, it will align it accordingly. So we have to just select it and it will align it parallel to this particular section. Alright, so these were the function of like how to rotate, which you can use it while you're practicing or creating any certain pattern. Now we will see next, that is edit pattern tool. So now with the edit pattern tool, you can edit any one point, like free form you can transform. If let's say suppose you have to change one line direction, you can change it. You have to move it in any way, it is completely free form, so you can move it as per your requirement. Okay, so now let's say suppose if I am selecting this particular side and this particular side, I want to move it, so I can move it accordingly. The point will change accordingly. If I am changing here or here, inside or outside, it will change as per your need, whatever is your requirement. Alright, so now apart from this, now let's see certain option like clone clone as reference line. What is the use of that? Now let's suppose I have done here clone as reference tool line. Now I have selected here clone as reference line, and once we will start editing pattern by our certain option, let's say suppose I have moved it to this particular place, then you can see the reference line which is here available. Okay, so you can hide your reference line from here as well. Once you will click, you can hide it, and if you will just want to click on show, then it will show you there. So this was your cloning the reference line. Now I want to create certain offset internal pattern outline. So let's suppose I am selecting this particular line. I will do right click and it will show here somewhere offset as internal line. So we'll select it, then it will ask certain distance, like from which particular place we want. Now we'll click on 1 inch, then you can see like my this particular internal line is created. Now let's suppose I want to make internal line of both the side. So same time I will select it with the help of shift, right click, offset as internal line, and again we'll give some distance. Now let's suppose I'm giving 2 inches distance, so it will create one line. Now again, if suppose I have to create another internal line, then we have to do it manually. Now let's suppose this time I'm giving 1 inch, so here you go. So this is here our internal offset line. Okay, so now let's suppose I'm creating like one line segment here and one line segment in this particular place. So we can see like this line is not touching to this pattern outline, but I want this both the line should touch it. All these two sides, one is here and another is here, this pattern outline. So once we will select both the line, with the help of shift we'll do right click, and we will get certain option like extend trim, where you can find two pattern outline. So once you will click on that, it will touch both the side accordingly. So this is your another uses. Okay, so now apart from this, let's suppose now next option is your edit transform or edit curve point. Now your next tool is edit curve point. So edit curve point, what it will do, I will show you here. Now let's suppose right now I have selected my edit curve point tool. I will just select any line segment. I can make curve shape. I can give certain shape accordingly. Similar way, any side just we have to click and we have to give certain shape. Now let's say here one kind of shape is there available. So now this is your one sort of uses of your edit curve point. Now let's suppose here I want to create my reference now here I want to create our offset internal line. So again I will click on offset internal line, and then we can see like here we have number of offset. We can increase the number of offset. It will create accordingly as many as you want for the curve section. So better I will say like first you select 2 and then after that you can carry on. So this is for your curve point section. Okay, so now another option we have like edit curvature will only provide you curve with one section. Here you cannot add any points, you can just align the particular section in both the side, in any side whichever you can select. So like now let's suppose I am selecting here edit curve point, and I am adding one point here and I am adding another point here. So now you can see like it is changing the shape accordingly. Similar way, now let's suppose I am adding one point here, another point here, and again another point here. So here we can see our shape is changed now. So the difference between edit curvature and edit curve point is that edit curvature will give you one curve line, and edit curve point will give you option to add certain like points on the curvature. Okay, so now let's suppose over here again we'll show you certain options like cut and sew. Now for that I will create certain line over here. Okay, so let's zoom this particular pattern box. Now we'll create certain line from here to here, and we'll just close it at this particular point. So my one line is here created. Now let me give another shape as well in this particular section. So same way, let me zoom it little bit. So we'll start from that particular point. Okay, so now we can see over here our line is ready. So now I have to just select this particular line with the help of shift, and we'll do here cut and sew. So as we will do cut and sew, then you can see in our 3D window that it is having something sewed. And similar way, now if I select another line segment with the help of shift, and here we will just do right click and cut, so it will separate the particular piece. Okay, so this is your all about cut and sew. So now next we are going to see something over here. I just want to show you, like let's suppose this is my one panel. Okay, so now in this panel I am drawing one line segment from here, just which is touching one side of the line segment, our pattern outline, and another is just in the center somewhere. Now if we do over here completely cut, then it will cut and slice the piece. Okay, so you can see over here certain cut mark is there. You can also do right click and give your certain measurement, and now let's suppose here also I am drawing one particular line. So to draw the line, we'll create a line segment here. Now this is the line segment, and again it is not touching both the side. So what we have to do, first of all we have to just select the line, then after that extend drawing to the pattern outline, and once it is selected, then after that you can select it, and then if you will create cut, so it will cut and separate the pieces accordingly, which you can see over here in the 3D window as well. Alright, so now let's see the another example. Okay, so our next tool is notch. Now let's suppose I am just hovering on this particular line segment, and I am just giving my notch accordingly. And if let's suppose while giving notch I do right click, then it will pop up with a window where you can provide your measurement accordingly. So uniform split, let's suppose I have to give 3 or 4 notches in the uniform manner, and if I click OK, then it will create 1, 2, 3, 4 same number of notches accordingly. Next tool which we are going to learn, that is add point or split line. So let's suppose I'm just hovering my mouse, I'm just adding over here a point by clicking on this. It will create a point over here on this particular line segment. Now in same order, if I just do right click, then again it will pop up with a window option where it will ask like line 1 what is the measurement, line 2 what is the measurement. You can give the measurement accordingly, or let's say suppose if you go by split by length, then you can select your direction, in which direction you want, reverse or center. And if let's say you go to uniform split, if here you are providing certain number of segments, then it will split it accordingly. So this is your function about split line or add point. Okay, so next we are going to learn about something which is called smooth curve. So once we will select the smooth curve option, and as we will select a point, then we can see it is creating a smooth surface at the corner of the line segment. Similar way, you can select it inside, you can select it outside, it will give you measurement according. Or let's say suppose if we do right click at the same time, so here you can see certain option is available now. Now curvature, round the curvature, which side, inside or outside, it will just change it as per your requirement. So now here you can see we have certain curve point. Now similar way, let's say I am selecting over here, and I will just do right click, and again I will change it, and will click on OK. So it will change the size accordingly. There is one more function over here which you should learn. Now let's say suppose with the help of edit curve point, I am adding one point here, and I am adding another point here, and this is my third point. And now let's align this particular window, let's align this particular line segment as per our requirement in any shape. So once this alignment is done, now once we will select this smooth curve point, then it will ask us to select the particular track point. Click on the track point. So once we will click over here, and we'll select the another point, and which line segment we have to change, we will select this one which we have made the changes. So it will turn into yellow color, and then again we have to come to the reference line which we have drawn. From there we will start making the change of the curve line, so as we have made earlier. So it will change it accordingly. It will just convert the shape into another line. So this was your function or uses of smooth curve point. Now next we are going to learn about fullness, how to add fullness. To add fullness, first of all we will select our toolbar, we will select our, to add fullness we will select fullness point from this particular option, and as we will hover over the line segment, it will select, let's select this particular line. As we'll hover over this particular line segment, then it will show a point, then from where we have to slash. Now let's suppose I am just clicking over here, and we can see that after this particular click, now we can see this particular rectangle is divided into two parts. One is bigger one, another is smaller one. Now from here we have to just do a click and move it into the any direction wherever you want to move. So this is how we can add fullness. So once you have just moved it to the required shape, where whatever it is there, and then you can just drop it and click it. It will change the shape accordingly. Now let's say suppose I want to change it from this particular side, then for that again I have to draw a line segment, and then select it and move it and click, and there will be a change. Okay, so another thing which I want you to learn, that is like select both the lines which is parallel to each other, and then click on the right click, and then distribute internal line segment. So here you can see like how many numbers you want, like 3 or 4 or 5, it will split it accordingly. So I'm just going with 3 right now, and then we'll select our fullness point. So now you can see here it is showing some sort of direction, like from where we have to add fullness. So I'm just selecting this particular side, and then I will just move it. And while moving, if I just click on our mouse, like right click, while moving, once we do right click, then it will ask certain distance, at what distance you want to move. To make it uniform, I will just give the measurement. Now here also same way, I want to move this particular section, right click. To have uniformity, I will give the same measurement. Done. So here my one line is added. Now another one, this one. If let's say suppose I have to give fullness, okay, so if I move it on the same line segment, then it will split from both the sides. So at the same time, if I click over here some measurement, if I give some measurement, like let's say same 2, or both the sides I have to give, so let's say I'm giving 4, so now it will make the changes accordingly. So this was your example of your fullness. So I want you to explain about fullness line as well. So for that I will create a rectangle. So now let's say suppose I made one rectangle over here. Okay, so now we are going to learn about fullness line. So for that we will select, first of all, like as it is saying, like click on a start and end point. So we'll select this particular point to this particular point, and again we'll select another line segment from one point to another point. As we will select it, it will open a pop-up window with a fullness option. So it is saying now like fullness length which we have to provide, and then it will slash line length, which is the bottom one. So now as I am changing the measurement, you can see my fullness is getting added or decreased accordingly. So you can change your measurement over here. This is your manual option. You can change it accordingly as per your requirement. Now let's suppose I am just keeping it over here. Now it is asking direction, start or end or both. I want to add both the sides, so I will click over here, then it will change it accordingly. So this is your fullness with line segment. But now here we can see like certain reference line is there. So to how to remove those reference line, in fact like here also where we have made the changes with the added the fullness, we can see here reference line. So first of all, for that we will just do the right click and will lock all the pattern outlines. Once we will lock all the pattern outlines, and then we have over here trace option. So we'll click on trace and just will select all the reference line will be selected accordingly. Now we can click on delete. Similar way here as well, we can select and we can delete, and here also we can select and delete. So this is all about your editing pattern tools. So this is your certain examples about pattern tools, edit pattern tools. You can practice, you can learn it by watching and practicing parallelly. So keep watching, keep learning. Thank you so much.